I don't tell personal stories as often as you might think. I'm just on my way back from the gym to home, it's a short walk, and I'm minded to tell my story for this year, this last of 2023 Simona's challenges. Simona's December challenge is to tell a story inspired by one of the stories told during the month of the Advent calendar, Simona's Wonderful Worlds of Kindness. And first of all, thank you, Simona, for this enterprise. I think it's absolutely fantastic. And every day I've looked forward to waking up and listening to the next story. And because of what's going on in the world, the stories have a different meaning than they might normally have had for me, because I'm so involved in what's happening in Gaza and in Palestine more generally, because of my contacts there, the students and the teachers that I know and admire so much. So every story, I've heard it through that prism, and each one of them has offered me some kind of solace, some kind of hope. Although as we approach the end of the year, that hope is tested, because there is so much terrible news, so little hope in the media, and yet we have to keep trying, just like the little grey parrot in the story that opened the project by Jean Hale. That little grey parrot that's rewarded with colourful wings. And I think all of us can be little grey parrots, all of us storytellers. But I'm going to respond to the story that I myself told, which isn't exactly the remit. On the 3rd of December, I told a story that I had learned from a girl called Zaina. And Zaina's from Gaza, and 3 years ago she told the story, and she was coached by Salha. And I was telling the story again and again from notes that I took when she taught me the story. But I hadn't found the recording of her telling the story herself. I'd been looking for it. But as I've been sharing a story every day, I've been going through the archives from the World Storytelling Cafe, Young International Storytellers, and there it is, back at the end of 2020, is Zaina herself telling the story of the faithful cloud. And it was just such a wonderful discovery. And to listen to her, and she was being coached by a wonderful teacher, Salha. Hello, Saha. And it was just magical to hear Zaina's voice after all these years, and to realise, and I'd forgotten, that Zaina didn't adapt this folk tale, she actually made it up. It was a story that she wrote herself and retold, very much an oral telling, at the World Storytelling Cafe, which makes it even more special. I'm so glad I could share it. And I know the story, which I've been telling a lot over the last 3 months, has made a big difference to a lot of people's lives. Despina in Cyprus, for example, retold that story when she did the Beyond the Crest course with me recently. And she's also told the story to her students. And she lives there, so close to Gaza. She's in Cyprus, and it's just wonderful to know that in so many countries around the world, Zaina's story and other stories of kindness are being shared. The other day, someone talked about the ripple effect of telling stories. We don't know what the effect of a story we might share might be. Sometimes we might feel like we're talking into a void. Happens to me quite often. But then you hear something that makes you realise that there is an effect. Everything we do has an impact. So that's the story that I wanted to share with you, the story of Simona's project, and in particular Zaina's story, but in general, the impact that we as storytellers can have, just like that little grey parrot that Jean Hale told us about on the very 1st of December. Thank you for listening to this little story.